Laney today, last 2 days actually. So Vu and Laney have been a little timid and seem to be overwhelmed by some of the training. So what I've done is back them up the last 2 days to a comfort zone that they feel, and try to take that leading comfort zone and extend it a little bit further. In the last 2 days, both of them made a lot of progress, especially Laney.
Huh.
So last 2 days especially have been really good for both Vu and Laney.
Well, that's good. How's that for camera? Um, what is that? I think we got a problem on the camera in the back room. Is somebody out there?
Yeah, I can, what is it?
Well, it's not pointed at anything I recognize. So something is wrong with it. The cameras are a little bit screwy. Now see, I can't get the main picture there, this camera, on that feed. I did turn the camera. Camera is great. I'm certainly glad to hear it, because I can't see it at all.
Yeah, mine shows good.
Yours is okay?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Welcome back, Linda.
Thank you.
Training question. Service dog project, could you try and explain the process if a match is made and works, but recipient needs help changes? How do you adjust, train additionally, their Dane, if needed exchange, their Dane? Is it difficult for the Dane to leave their person and their bond with another recipient? You got an opinion on that one, Caroline?
I lost track of it here. Is it difficult for a dog to change from one person to another?
It sounds like for maybe a recipient, maybe one has come back. The initial part of the question was, when a health episode changes with a recipient,
Okay.
and then the dog, I guess for some reason, is pulled back and then assigned to another recipient, and we've had that happen.
We've had it happen. It does work. Sometimes it takes a little bit to change over, but they do swap off on that. What they are very inclined to remember is the first person they went with, so that if we ever took them back to that person, which has happened in one particular case, the dog was thrilled, and the dog was, oh come on, it was the one Jade had down in Bristol. I gave to some people in Linfield to raise for a while. I've forgotten exactly what the deal was. She worked for the Red Cross and stuff. And then they gave the dog back to me. We, for one reason or another, gave it to Jade so she could walk up and get her diploma. Remember that, with 2 days worth of training or something? And Jade had her for a year or two. And then Bristol decided she didn't want to work down there anymore, and we got her back, and I gave her back to the woman who'd had her originally, and Bristol was thrilled.
No.
It really was. But I don't think she had a very good time with Jade.
Right.
She began to run away from Jade. And Jade by then was in a wheelchair, and just couldn't control her. So we got her back. But when the reunion was like Earlene and Chaos. I mean, it was just, oh my God. So that's the only one I really know about. But we took a dog away from that Boston Bomber.
Right.
And she's done real well with Lydia, with person she's with,
Right.
whoever that is. Okay.
Have any of the SDB dogs been assigned to a veteran that has seizures? If so, how do they help them? These dogs are not trained to alert on seizures. I can tell you when I had my seizures, when I went down, Charlie would lay down next to me and start licking my face. But as far as alerting to seizures, these dogs are not trained to alert on seizures.
You can't train a dog to alert on a seizure. Because how do you practice? A dog may pick it up on their own, and many of them do, an oncoming seizure, but there's no way of practicing that I know of.
Have you ever encountered an aggressive dog while out with Charlie and or one of the training dogs? Yes. Yes, I
Okay.
have. And how do I handle it? The first thing you got to do is you got to get them away from each other. Very fortunate with Charlie is Charlie has been trained very well to ignore other dogs. We have walked right by other service dogs, other pets, other jerky dogs. They just don't know how to behave, and he walks right by it. While training, I purposely, again, if you heard me the other day, sometimes I set things up to fail so I can see how they're going to react to things. We have a mall that has a pet shop. We will often bring those dogs right by the pet shop, the window, and hope that something happens so we can correct it if it needs to be. Because as trainers, we want to know those things before it gets out of control. But if we do get in a situation where somebody else's dog starts to be aggressive towards one of our dogs, you can bet that we separate them right away, and then there may be a few choice words said. I know I have.
No.
I choose not to repeat them, but I usually try to tell them to keep their dog under control. I don't have a problem with the dogs at SDP getting out of control, because even if they did something slightly off kilter, they know the voice and they know the training that they correct themselves very quickly. Are the dogs trained with plane travel? I have never trained one for plane travel here, but I know Charlie's been on a plane. I know other dogs have been on planes. I know Megan has taken dogs on planes. I think that would be pretty expensive for us, although I'm all for it if anybody wants to start finding free flights for Steve and a dog to go training.
They might, you never know. But no, what we use, dogs don't know they're up in a plane.
Right.
I mean, you got the same thing in a car as a plane, so they don't know the difference. They don't know they're up in the air. We do use the train,
Yes.
the commuter train. That's a rattle-banging, noisy thing. That's much worse than a train ride. And they get used to it. The biggest thing there is when the train approaches the station. That can get a little exciting.
Well, like Carly said, most of the time, if you've ever flown with a dog, you'll notice that they act the same in the back of that Highlander as they did on that plane once it's going into vibrations, and
Yeah.
you know, they act just about the same.
Yeah, I've never had a dog have a problem on a plane. I do give them a bone to chew as they come down. You know, like they tell you to chew gum.
Right.
I give them a treat to chew on as they come down because I'm not sure whether their ears are going to bother
Right. And I make sure I don't feed them before I get on the plane.
them. Okay.
Or the few hours before they get on the plane. So do you change the amount of food each adult dog gets by their weight? It must be difficult. We monitor their weight. If they seem to like they're getting a little overweight, then we cut back on their food. We're constantly monitoring between Meg and I, Grace, I mean, the whole staff here. It doesn't take very long for us to figure out who needs food more, who needs food less. But as a general rule, I would say 90%, 95% of them are on the same exact food amount every single day. We give them enough exercise that they're not getting overweight.
Yeah, but you look at what you're feeding. If it's a fat dog, you take a scoop out and put it in the skinny dog.
Right.
Not too scientific.
All right, I got time for one more. How many dogs in training on farm, not including the 31 puppies? So we've got 31 puppies, and we've got, 9. How many big dogs we got up here? Got any big dogs up here? No.
I don't know.
So we've got about 9 to 12, 9 to 15 adult dogs that we're dealing with every day for feeding.
You might add Audrey to it once in a while. Poor Audrey.
Well, I kind of count her in there. I kind of count all the dogs that I see quite regularly. Like Charlie and Mariah, I don't count those. But they're here every day that I'm here. So, I mean, we have quite a few dogs here. And the last one is, how was your day today? I literally just walked from the barn up here in time to do this. So it's been a crazy day. Not only do we do training, but we make sure that everything gets done everywhere else. So we stay very busy. But overall, everything went, as I always say, one way or another, it's going to happen smoothly. And it normally does. Whether it's a power outage or a regular day. Okay.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you around.